I'm going to record now. Here we go. We are recording. So cue the theme music. Dun, 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 dun.
I did
brainwaves.
Oh, I do have a kazoo.
No, we're just doing brainwaves.
Oh, okay.
We're working on it. But dun, 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 dun. Brainwaves. All right. So the next theme. Because this is me. I'm emceeing, and I'm going to keep pushing.
We've got questions.
We do. We have a question from somebody who I suspect I know. Why are smart movie villains British and dumb movie villains New Yorkers? Can you answer that, Robin Barr, in 1 minute or less?
Oh, God. I
challenge.
That's a challenge.
Go.
Because British English has a higher prestige than American English. And
for the people watching these movies.
For the people who are in Hollywood.
Yep.
And so somebody who has a British accent, no matter what class they are in England, is considered to be higher class and therefore more educated and therefore smarter. Whereas somebody who speaks like a Bowery boy New Yorker is considered not to be educated, because otherwise they would have had elocution lessons and have gone to Phillips Exeter and now speak like somebody with large lockjaw.
Oh my God, you're getting into my next topic already.
And therefore, because they have not had the benefit of the gatekeeping the gatekeeping education and elocution lessons, and they have not been made fun of by people with a lot more money, they must be uneducated, therefore stupid.
Gotcha. Okay, answered. Check. That's a good start, though. I think a whole dissertation could be written on that.
Probably.
Next question. There we go. If H is a voiceless vowel, nice one, Melinda. If H is a voiceless vowel, where would you place it on the color vowel chart?
I would not.
I think it would be, it's like an overlay. Yeah.
So green tea.
For me, it would be a feather. It would be a feather or something like you'd wave it over here. It's hey, huh. It wouldn't be on the chart. It would be laid on the chart or touched onto the chart. This is
okay.
I mean, no, because you have to start. I mean, it's going to change, right?
It's not going to be one of these. Let's say it. So
right.
Yes, it is vocalic in a certain way, but it's not located up here where the semivowels are.
Right. No,
it's located everywhere that the vowels
everywhere. No, I mean, really. Let's think about. I'll be open to a way. For example, I'm going to give you. Well, we won't go into this, but I did this in Peru. When I'm teaching something that I want to do as an overlay, I often find some other object. So when I taught the vowel sounds of Spanish using the color vowel chart, I took a styrofoam cup and I tore it so that the ring was left. Mm-hmm. And then I used the ring to show, here's the A, the E, the E, the O, the U of Spanish, to sort of show exactly along those lines. And so we moved it around, and we were able to see how the Spanish vowels behave differently from the vowel sounds of English.
So this could be he,
yeah,
hey.
But see, you want a feather or a fan or something for the air that precedes it. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah, you could. Yeah. So you could feel the
I don't know.
Okay,
we'll figure it out. But that's a nice one. I know a student who was making up his own alphabet, and he created a symbol for each position. He, ha, hu. I've seen that strategy for Spanish. That's how they teach early literacy, is by taking different, not just H, but different consonants. I don't know if that's a similar.
Well, what's going on here, though, is that the H is not a separated sound for this student. The H is incorporated into the vowel itself. So are all different sounds. Therefore, there's no single sound, which there isn't, right? I mean, it doesn't actually exist as a sound. H does not exist as a sound. No. H exists only in your brain and attaches to each vowel at the beginning of each vowel and makes it voiceless. But it's a very abstract idea in your brain. You think it's an H, but it's not really there.
It's not really there. Ooh. Okie dokie. Hey, nice. So we had some good questions. I'm going to throw out my next one. And this is just partly because I always feel there's a need for a musical interlude. But here's the game. I'm going to sing a song. I already know which one it is. Robin, you're going to switch the lever back and forth. And then once we're done, you're going to tell me what I'm doing. Just watch.
Okay.
She's going to be able to do it. She's going to do great. This is the lever. You can switch it, and you're going to switch it probably 5 times before I stop singing.
Okay.
You ready? Here we go. All of me, why don't you take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why don't take all of me? What am I doing? What is that?
You're code switching.
Oh my God, what is it? Because I realized that when I sing, which I do on occasion, that I sing with Auburn. And then I started thinking there's all kinds of strange things I do with my vowels when I sing. So what is that?
You monophthongized your diphthongs as well.
I monophthongized my diphthongs.
You don't say my, you say ma.
Ma. Exactly. And so that was that whole question I had months ago. Ma.
Right.
And ma.
Ma.
What's ma? What color is it? It's not a, ma.
It's somewhere here,
Ma.
but front. Ma.
I think it's ma. It sounds to me like the Spanish a, e, I, o, u, a.
It does, which is
ma.
Here.
Ma.
Ma. It's an olive that has been moved forward because it's being attracted to the I, and so it started its way up. My, right? My, but it's not all the way forward like it's right about here.
Ma. That's interesting.
Ma. It's fascinating. This is the same vowel, by the way. This low front vowel, a little bit further than
I don't know if the glass is.
Oh, can you see this? All right.
It's like we have a glass. Okay.
So right here at the border between olive and black, except lower.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who are listening instead of watching, we have move your tongue a little bit further forward. Ma. But don't close your mouth. So a lot of my students, for example, are having trouble with versus because it's the same for them.
Yes.
And what they wind up with is something like which is ambiguous still. It's not quite not quite black, not quite olive.
That's when I come back through, I just go back to green and start yoga again.
Yeah, because
when you start trying to get there from here, it's just so hard.
But what's interesting is this is the same vowel you get, number one, in Texas.
Yeah, ma.
So, ma, and also before it R. For fire is
far.
It's not far.
There's
which would be R, F-A-R.
Yeah, far.
It would be
far.
So there's this joke that I've heard about Christmas pageant. Okay. Reader's Digest is a Reader's Digest type of joke. Okay. There are these
no commentary
kids who are in Texas, and they're doing a Christmas pageant, and the three kings show up all dressed in firefighters' uniforms. And the teacher says, "Why are you dressed like that?
Why
are you dressed like that?" And the kid says, "Because it says the three kings came from afar."
Afar.
But, okay, but this assumes that what they were saying was, what they were processing was afar, F-A-F-A-R, afar. And what the students were saying was a fire.
Right. Afar.
But in fact, they would not be the same sound to a Texan. Because a Texan would not be saying from afar, meaning a fire. They'd be saying from afar. Okay.
So do you think a lot of these jokes, those kinds of dialect-focused jokes, they are built by the people who are perceiving rather than the people producing those differences? I mean, that joke is.
Yeah.
Right.
The same with the Boston dialect will have that very front sound, but not from it'll be before the R that they then drop. So pak, ya, ka, and have, and yad is not the same as father. They'll say father, but ka.
Wow.
And that's not nasal, that's just front.
Okay.
So what were you doing when you were code switching? You were going, you're saying all of me with rounded.
Why don't you take all? It's hard to do it in speech. That's the other part I find fascinating. Is my brain, I can do it easily when I sing it, but I can't do the same thing with the vowels when I sing it.
And that's really interesting because that tells me that you're switching. It's like brain gym. You're switching sides of the brain.
Yeah.
Brain calisthenics. I'm surprised that you actually could switch.
Well, that's why I was like, oh my, but I practiced in the car and I saw if I could just do it with my own hand being its own mind.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who are you imitating when you're saying, all of me?
I think I'm imitating whoever I heard, like that whole style of Ella Fitzgerald and I mean, a lot of Ella Fitzgerald.
Well, so that would make sense because her accent would distinguish ah from aw, and it would also be using the Southern monophthongization of from I to ah. There was a really interesting study that one of my students did in Accents and Dialects a few years back about Hillary Clinton's speeches. This is way back in 2008, I guess. She listened to the speeches, and Hillary Clinton was born in, or was raised in the western suburbs of Chicago, so she has an accent very much like mine. But when she was in Arkansas, she picked up a lot of the Southern
that makes sense.
And when she was giving stump speeches in Southern areas, she would often code switch into the, my family instead of my family. So my student just counted them up and looked at the code switching, and she had a chunk of Hillary Clinton had a chunk of canned boilerplate stump speech that remained the same for each speech. But when she said, and I'm happy to be here today in lovely wherever she was, when she was talking at that point, she would switch depending on who her audience was. And I'm not sure how conscious it was. It may have been unconscious, but she was definitely gearing. We just looked at the I versus diphthong.
I don't know. I just don't know.
So my family.
All right. Well, cue the theme music. Da 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 da. Brain waves. You got to do that with me. You did it the first time. Brain waves. There we go. There's the waving part. We'll come up with the animated GIF and the song later. We're open to suggestions and ideas and jingles. But so we're just going to keep moving along with different questions. This is us having fun. Robin and I have been doing this regularly lately. When Shirley's in the room, she's doing it with us too. We just talk about language and have a blast. So we thought,
we're linguistics geeks, so
and you are too. So we thought, why not share this with you?
Yeah.
So we're moving into my next brilliant question for the day. How is it the ventriloquists can still make vowel sounds without moving their mouth a lot?
Yeah,
I mean, I do all this work to show how the mouth, tongue, and jaw come together to make vowel sounds, and then here are these ventriloquists proving me wrong all the time.
And there are people who talk like that.
There are people who talk. I even know somebody who talks like this.
Larchmont lockjaw is what they call it.
They call it what?
Larchmont lockjaw. I'm not even sure. So this is a speech style that was, I guess, very typical of women's finishing schools in the 30s. So Katharine Hepburn talks like this. It's
darling.
It's a way of speaking without moving your mouth too
darling,
much.
We must do lunch sometime. Darling.
Good job. Yeah. So how can they do that? How can they do rounded vowels? How can they do front and back vowels?
Yeah, I was noticing that if I keep my mouth, like if I'm trying to be a ventriloquist, which it's a good thing I don't have to make a living from it, I can say, oh, without moving my lips. How do I do that?
What is your tongue doing when you do that?
It's making this bowl. It's making this, so it's making this little bowl inside of my mouth.
So let me show you on the chart. Can we look at the chart? Okay. So ordinarily, your tongue goes up to here for E and back to here for oo, but it has to go far enough back. It can't go as far back as it needs to for oo, because you also have to pull your lips forward to create enough space between the tip of your tongue and the front of your mouth to make this this space rounder. Okay, so e oo. It's not just e oo. It's e oo. However, you can duplicate that same amount of space by, as you said, hollowing out your tongue so that you have the same amount of space in front of your, in front of the high part of your mouth.
So I can say, oh, or I can say, oh.
Yeah.
And they sound pretty similar.
They do, because you're creating space in your mouth, and how you do it is
irrelevant.
Not relevant for our ears.
Yeah.
Ordinarily. So
right, it's going to categorize into rows.
There are some
cool.
There are some languages that actually make a distinction. I don't know how they do it. Chinese is one, but there's a difference between, I think, sh and sh.
Oh, yeah, right. I heard about that.
I can't hear the difference, but there are two different ways of making the sh sound, the sh sound, and one requires you to move your round your lips, sh, and the other one requires you to curl your tongue backwards, sh, and you can do that without rounding your lips.
Nice.
And I don't hear the difference, and I don't think any English speaker hears the difference, but I've been told that it's a distinction in Chinese.
Okay.
And the same with different kinds of R. There's where you have to round your lips, and there's also the R where you can curl your teeth back and curl your tongue back, and you can smile while you do it, and can I make an aside?
One aside, only one.
One aside. There's some claim that the R with the rounding is the relic of the initial W in words like right, WR, and things like that. So I don't know if that's true. But
okay,
it might be that there used to be.
It's a linguistic rumor.
Yeah, yes, it's a rumor. Maybe there used to be two different R's, one WR rounded and one unrounded
Yeah.
So find it. So
wow.
But there are two different ways you can make an R, and it's very difficult to explain to a non-English speaking student how to make the one that's rounded But it's a lot easier to have them curl their tongue back because you can see what's happening. But it also
round.
Can you do it?
Round.
R.
I think that's what I try to teach people how to do.
I go like this.
Yeah, that's very smart.
So but that makes it what's considered a harder R. That's very Midwestern kind of sound. So, but the same thing is true here. If you curl your tongue back, you don't have to round them out because you're creating a space by pulling the tongue back. But it's the same space you would get if you went R.
Interesting.
With a rounded.
So it really comes down to these metrics, sort of the measurement between.
How big is that space in front of your tongue?
Yeah.
And you can do it you can be a ventriloquist and not round your lips at all.
And still talk like this all
the time if you move your tongue back and forth.
It takes a lot of tongue awareness to talk.
What about the labials? How do you do B's and D's?
I'm going to blush.
B's and T's. I heard from a ventriloquist how he does it.
Okay. So that is exactly the question that Shirley has raised is how do some people say B and P in this case and M without putting their lips together?
They fake it by using a dental. So I'm not sure I can do it. But if I said, "Oh, he's such a good boy," does that sound like a good boy? No, it sounds like a doy. But
good
that's
boy.
Good boy.
That reminds me sort of the categorical pizza stuff you do.
Yeah. So to me, it's totally a D. But that's how ventriloquists make the B's and P's and M's. Is apparently they use dentals instead.
Okay.
I wonder if it's good doy. If I make it more dental.
Noi. Yeah. I think we'd have to all go to ventriloquist camp together to learn more about the tricks of ventriloquists.
See how it does it.
I bet you anything though that they push themselves toward using words that are easier. They stay away from words that start with M, I would imagine.
And maybe they use words that within context you thought you heard a B even though you didn't actually hear a B.
Like the fellow who says da, da. What's that? The Stroop effect? What is he? No, not the Stroop. What's the?
It's the one that sounds like a Dr. Seuss
character. Ma. That guy's on the beach. A terrible memory for the video that we've used to talk about the brain and how if I see your lips doing something, I can trick myself into thinking that I'm hearing something.
It'll come to me in 5 minutes.
Exactly. Well, so we have a couple other questions that are going to come up here. How do you feel about pronunciation shifts currently happening? February instead of February, jewelry instead of jewelry, and often instead of often, or vice versa. Hey, Lucy, good to see you online here. Who is her mother's daughter anyway? So these are all great questions. How do you feel about these things, Robin?
Depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm scolding my daughter for mispronouncing something, it comes out differently from if I'm
Wait
being
a minute.
linguist.
So everything's all good if it's the public saying February, but when your own daughter.
February is okay.
You're not scold her for not saying February?
No, I get mad at Jewellery though.
Okay, tell us how that works consistently, Mom. All right, help us out.
Because that's not my dialect, and she needs to copy my dialect.
Okay.
That's how it works. It has to be my dialect is the right one.
So I should be getting after my kids for saying crayons.
Does she say crayons?
Crayons. Yeah. Crayons for those little things to color with.
Around here,
crowns
is what the Baltimore area
They
says.
were doing it in New Mexico before we moved back.
That's
crowns.
weird. I don't know where that came from in New Mexico, but in Chicago it was crayons, one syllable.
Yeah.
And same with mayonnaise and mayonnaise. Crayon turns into crayon. Mayonnaise.
Boy, people just don't like those Y's, right?
Well, it's so inefficient.
Right.
So
it's only
it's
so far away from everything.
Why
go to Alaska?
Yeah, why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to go all the way to Alaska?
And
crayons.
Mayor. I mean, that's why the mayor of Chicago is not the mayor. He's the mayor.
The mayor.
It's a
I want to be the mayor.
Mayor. Instead of going all the way around Robin Hood's barn to go mayor, why not just go mayor?
Mayor. I want to be the mayor.
No,
mayor.
That's not Chicago.
I'm just talking.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to.
Mayor.
Mayor.
Like Mary.
I'm combining that with our from before.
So, but instead of going gray day to green tea, mayor, that's two syllables.
Right.
How inefficient is that? Mayor. Go straight there. You got it. So that's Chicago. Instead of mayonnaise, it'll just be mayonnaise. Crayon.
Okay.
So,
good.
So that's efficient. And so is February is more efficient than February.
Definitely.
Okay? Often is not more efficient than often. Often is a spelling pronunciation that I think has come in. The only other reason it would exist would be because oft isn't a word that people use anymore. But
oft have I thought about that.
Yeah. But so for example, soften, people don't say soften ordinarily, right?
Yeah.
And that's because they know there's a rule for soft and soften. Listen is not listen, but people don't say list. I don't know. So
you just pull the stuff out of your head, don't you?
That's not where I pull it, but that's
okay.
So, but often is a spelling pronunciation, and I think it's because we've lost the word oft.
Okay, oft.
What was the other one?
I don't make my R sound.
Jewellery.
Oh, jewelry.
This one drives me crazy.
Jewelry.
Like realtor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I get a gut feeling about
jewellery. This is the one that bugs you.
Yeah.
I might be with you on that one.
And
are we allowed as linguists to say the things about us?
We can say we have metalinguistic attitudes and
as mothers.
And we're aware of our metalinguistic attitudes.
Okay.
And so jewellery has 3 syllables.
And then
it's no more efficient than jewelry.
Right.
But jeweler has 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Instead of jeweler. So jewelry is taking the word jeweler and adding Y to it instead of taking the word jewel and adding re to it. See? So it's a morphological problem.
Yeah.
Same with nuclear.
Yes.
Okay?
That was coming to mind.
Nuclear is I think of it as a hypercorrection. So if you're used to saying nuclear or nuclear, and you know that.
So this isn't the Paschetti thing.
No.
This isn't just like taking a syllable and, I don't know, inverting it.
Not to me. To me, it's more like you're trying to sound more erudite.
By saying nuclear?
Yes, because.
Holy moly.
Because
okay.
That's new for me. Your basic form would be nuclear. Like February.
Okay.
Nuclear.
Okay.
So
Except that I've never heard anybody say nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, physicists?
No.
Okay. Checking my
not
mental recordings here.
But if you know that lots of O's are corrected to U in a slower form or more stylistically more prestigious register. So let me think of a good one. I will think of one later.
Okay.
So if you're saying nuclear, you think, oh, that should be not nuclear, I should say cular.
Cular.
So, but that's because that reveals that you don't know that the
culinary. That's what comes. I mean, that would fit, right? I mean,
culinary is it a culinary?
Right?
Culinary?
Right?
Yeah.
Culinary.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what this means is that you've got a rule that says when you have a ul and you want to sound more highfalutin, change it into a u. Ul is it an ul, and that will change nuclear into nucular, which is where that comes from.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's have our theme song. Ready? Brain waves.
What is this next one?
That's a little cue that I didn't know what to say next, so we're going to move into another topic.
2 syllables for
me.
Oh,
we're still there? Jewelry. Yeah. Jewelry works for me too.
Would I teach English language learners that mayor is a 1-syllable word? For me, it is.
Mayor.
It
came up yesterday with the Panamanian teachers or the other day when I taught them, I can't remember what day, Monday. They said, mayor and major. What's the difference? And so we still treated it as a 2-syllable word.
Well,
as a minimal pair with
mayor.
Mayor and major.
For you, it is.
For me, it is. The mayor of Tacoma Park. The mayor. Yeah. It's
I don't remember. For me. To me, the mayor is only the Chicago mayor. Everybody else is a mayor.
So, hey, so we have questions here coming in still, but we won't be talking for the full hour. This is typically going to be you didn't know that, about a 50.
I could go on
as
long as you
want. This is the thing, is she can go on. And she's a special jewel, as per the conversation about jewels. Typically, we're going to go about 50 minutes with a couple of questions at the end. And I keep looking at the questions here, that's why I'm giggling. But we are looking forward to cultivating this into a monthly webcast. We will come up with some kind of theme music that I can turn on somehow. And we're working on the brain waves. That brain is a little pink for me. The one
brain waves, or brain waves.
Brain waves.
Brain waves. Brain waves.
See,
it's ambiguous.
It is. Yeah. It is beautifully ambiguous. But if you have ideas about what you'd like to see happen in the show, or if you have creative ideas about how it should feel, with some small changes that we can make on our part, I'm totally open to those ideas. So, so we have a great idea from I think it's Andrea. Is it Andrea or is it Andrea? Let us know where the stress is in your name, Andrea.
What color is
and
your
what
name?
Color is it? But she says that you need a super linguist suit with a cape.
I have a red cape that I use for do support.
I thought I knew her, but
affix hopping.
Affix. That's right. So we have to pull out some of those gigas. It's amazing that we're meeting and that there it is, that we don't have a kazoo. Oh my God. Of course we have to have kazoos. So you'll be hearing kazoos next time around. It's a little bit of a longer, I think it's 5 weeks from now that the fourth Wednesday is coming.
You just tell me and I'll show up.
Yeah. So you'll see upcoming Brainwaves talks announced on the Color Vowel Facebook page.
I'm starting to think that a lot of what I said may not be understandable.
Let us know if Robin is comprehensible.
Broca's area and what the brain does and why you can't move your tongue on purpose, even though you can do it unconsciously.
Well, then let me just say this, because we're here to have fun. And so we, of course, refer to things that we already understand, because that's fun for us. It's no fun to behave like we're brand new to the topic every time. And that's what workshops are for. So this is my little plug, that we provide workshops on the brain and phonology and the color vowel chart and how to teach literacy and pronunciation and vocabulary development with the chart. And that's where, of course, we dive into ideas as if they're new to us and new to you, and we introduce them from the start. You can certainly look up Broca's area.
I'm coming to Shirley's,
Yeah.
what is it, intermediate vowel chart thing on the 30th.
Well, we have a beginning workshop, a color vowel basics workshop this Friday here in Washington, D.C. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that is always the first step to getting into working with the color vowel approach in the ways that make it work for the brain, right? Not just looking at the chart, but using your body and including your students in that whole experience so that they can make changes and realizations in the way that they speak and read. And then on the 30th, we have the second of those workshops, which is teaching confidently with the color vowel chart. And Dr. Barr here once in a while,
I'm supposed to
out the
drop.
doctor.
Yeah, I'm supposed to drop in the
She's
afternoon.
She's going to drop in.
Shirley says. I don't know what's going to happen, but she'll tell me.
Yeah, it's always fun and special to have Robin in the room. We get these kinds of questions that you all are throwing at us, and we love those questions. Some of them are tried and true. You know I can throw a bone to Robin and she's going to just rip it up. That was a weird metaphor, but rip it up. There are certain questions that I have heard her answer to many times, and yet it never bores me to hear the answer. I guess that's what I want to say. Same bone, different rip up each time. That's why being candid with you is fun, you know? So that's what we're planning to do here, is to be ourselves. It might be me being the MC, it might be Shirley, but Robin, who's the constant, she's the focus. This is Brainwaves with Dr. Robin Barr. We'll take just a couple of last questions here, or comments. Any comments? That whole thing when you are on the radio and don't know if anybody's listening. We'd love your feedback. So we are recording this. This was, I don't know if it's audio recorded or video recorded at this point, so we'll be finding out. I started that recording about halfway through. So we'll try to post it. We'll see what kind of technical problems we run into. Or if Robin doesn't like it, we might not post it. We'll see. Our gift should be Karen unscrewing your brain and opening on a hinge. That would
be like on Monty Python. Just get a picture of me and then cut it open and show my brain waving at you.
Oh, that is so cool. We'll try that. Trying to think of the graphic design skills involved in that.
If Monty Python can do it with scissors, I'm sure we can do it.
I'm sure that Laura can help us with that. Wonderful. Hey, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Really would love comments either here or in Facebook. If you recommend it for next time, would you write a little testimonial so we could include it and put it not here because this chat might disappear, but put it over there in Facebook, or simply write an email to us. But we would love to, have a real account from you of the kind of value you find in this, where you think it might go, and again, any ways that we can continue to cultivate it.
It's not going to stop being geeky and dorky.
No.
But we could maybe make it, I don't know, more visually appealing.
We might wear hats next time. All right. All right. So thanks again. We will see you soon on the 4th Wednesday, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but watch for it. Take care. Bye-bye. Theme music. Brain waves. Bye.